Hey everybody. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about reading. Um, it is a pastime of mine. It is something that I do daily. I'm reading all kinds of books all the time. I'm reading news articles all the time. I would call myself more of an eclectic reader. I read all different types of genres, business books, biographies, self-help books, religious books, you name it. I'm probably looking at some book at some moment in time. Currently, right now, I'm reading Homo Deus, which I think is a phenomenal book, and I like to read these science books as well. So, I mean, some of the books I've read recently, I got this off the internet. Good Millionaire, T. Harv Eker is an interesting book. Pretty basic, but it's pretty interesting. Read this book by Grant Cardone, How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate. I read some religious books like 10% Happier, a little bit of self-help and Buddhism mixed together. I've read this book, Unstoppable by Craig Ballantyne, that also discusses anxiety and problems and how you can overcome those in your life so that you can be unstoppable. I'm reading demographics books right now, How to Turn Silver into Gold. Thought it was a very good book on how you might be able to profit from the boomer marketplace with different ideas and different businesses that you may be able to start. Um, Interestingly enough, I'm a huge Jack Canfield reader. So, I mean, I've got a number of his books, Law of Attraction, Success Principles. I've got the big success principles as well with all my notes in there. I think that he is a phenomenal author who synthesizes a lot of life's points into very simple steps that you can do to help improve your life. So anything that you can do to improve over time, I think I'm a big believer in that. And that's one book that I highly recommend. Religious books that I like reading. I also like reading old economic pamphlets. This was a fantastic book by Friedrich A. von Hayek, who was writing in the 1930s in University of Chicago. It's more of a pamphlet than a book, but it's really interesting how you can look at politics and how politics changes and it looks similar over time. Not that I'm big into politics, but I find the economic structures very interesting. So I read it. A buddy of mine just recommended that I read this. Now, this is a novel by Dostoevsky. So I picked this up just this week and I'm going to be reading this one soon because I think it's an interesting book on economics and also on political structures. You know, if you're an investor of any kind, I don't care what you're doing, this is the Intelligent Investor Bible. I mean, Benjamin Graham is a genius, the way that he's done things. And then Warren Buffett has obviously been one of his disciples, and a lot of other investors who have followed him. Some more science books: Sixth Extinction, An Unnatural History. This gets into a little bit of, hits a little too close to home on some of the things that are happening around the world, specifically with whether there could be another extinction event on Earth. So it gets you thinking a little bit about what are the things that you can do to make sure that we're still here at some point. And then recently I've been picking up a lot of interesting old fiction books that I just wanted to reread. George Orwell's 1984. So I reread that. I reread Huxley's Brave New World. Very good book. I reread, Orwell's Animal Farm. I've just been picking up a lot of things that I think I find interesting. Hook Point, great book on marketing. I'm not huge into marketing. I'm more of a direct marketer, I would say, in the way I do my business. And this gets me thinking a lot about social media, online platforms, how to use technology to benefit your business. I'm also a big historical fiction guy, and this is the new book by Ken Follett. I am really looking forward to reading this. He is a fantastic author, and this series, Pillars of the Earth, World Without Ends, unbelievable. So I'm looking forward to this one. And then, good old biographies, Ben Franklin, got a little Adam Smith. I just picked this up. I read a good chunk of this in university and I didn't have the book anymore. So I wanted to pick it up again, go through it. I mean, this is a beast of a book, but it is going to be very interesting, I think, to reread. And I'm going to go through it cover to cover this time. More books as well, self-help books, finding your element, what you can do. This came as a recommendation from a client of mine. He is big into politics. I'm not as big into politics, but I really do like reading about it and seeing. So apparently this is very gripping, and I'm looking forward to reading this fiction book. Working on Spanish, so I picked up a Spanish book that I've been reading. Chris Guillebeau, everybody's got to have a side hustle. So those are some ideas. And anyway, the list goes on. I've got some more books here that I've been reading, but the fact of the matter is, I think everybody needs to really try and incorporate reading in their life. Not only does it make you more worldly, it makes you understand a lot of different things, makes you look at things from other people's perspectives without getting stuck in your own. So if you read a big mix of books, it actually benefits you, and it probably benefits the people around you, because then they realize that you're open to discussions. They realize that you might have some insights that they never thought about. And if you're open to their insights as well, then it creates meaningful and very interesting dialogues. Can also get into situations where you have to respectfully disagree with one another. And I think that's okay. We've become too soft in our cultures these days, where we can't have a discussion without someone being sensitive. So we need to get past that in life. You've got to be emotionally strong, but you've also got to be open to the thinking that you're not always right. You're not always going to be the one with the best idea. Someone who may have read something that was more compelling or has a better argument about something. You need to be open to listening to the different points of views. And I think reading helps do that, because then you're not getting stuck on one path. You're saying, okay, well, this author says it this way, this author says it this way, and I don't know if I agree with either of them, but maybe I agree with this, and I agree a little bit of this guy, a little bit of this guy, but I believe it's like this. So I'm always looking at different angles. I try to be very open-minded. It doesn't always work. There's some things I'm very rigid on, but with reading, I feel like I'm a lot more flexible than if I wasn't an avid reader. So anyway, hope you like this video. This had nothing to do with real estate really per se today, but it really had to do with your learning, your growth. How do you continually educate yourself and grow and try to get better on a day-by-day basis? And that's what I try to do. Hopefully most of you are already doing the same. My guess is you are. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know I went through a lot of books pretty quickly, but I think it's important to read, and hopefully you do as well. Hope you like this video. Please feel free to share, like, subscribe. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. Till next time, let's continue growing our passive cash flow and net worth together.